Great. Good afternoon, everyone. How we all doing? I'm back again with some more Final 14. And I'm playing Gears until later this evening, so we don't have to suffer through that yet. God, Kush is terrible. he's absolutely shit at it. Bless him. Bless him. I'm just saying we don't have to suffer through Gears 5 until later this evening. Kush is he's away doing other stuff. Yeah, bless him. He's a bit shit at it. He dies every 5 seconds. So yes, a couple hours of this. Stop at about 6. Get some food. Busy investigating disappearances for the Scions and the Amaljar. We know are responsible for it, so I'm getting close to Ifrit. But yeah, I've done like the first 3 dungeons. Did I do Hatalia as well? I can't remember. Can you remember? Right, New Game Plus. Yes, that announcement for the new expansion being the end of this storyline. The next expansion is the end for that. And then the patch stuff after that's going to start a new story. Yes, it's going to bring all the story with the Ascians, Heidelin, and Zodiac. All that's going to come to an end in the next expansion. It's going to end with the expansion. There's not going to be any like patch content after it that finishes the story. The patch content after starts a whole new story. And so far, they've announced the healer job. But during the live event, Yoshi P had a shirt on, and a lot of people referenced the shirt to a certain band, and this band's like logos like skull and crossbones and things like that with like pistols and that. So a lot of people are reckoning what they already guessed, the next job will be Corsair. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that farming thing where you're gonna grow crops and let your minions run free. Yeah, and everyone reckons the DPS job is Corsair. Again, Yoshi P also had a shirt on. A lot of people have seen that shirt is pretty much confirming it. Let's see, Minfilia would like you to meet, but then again, a lot of people guessed that we were going to get Chemist and Alchemist, but we ended up getting Sage. So they were wrong, but they were right in that there was a healer job, but they were wrong of what type. Minfilia would like to meet a distinguished individual. They always seek a peaceful solution to the primary problem. We must needs be ready to fight for our cause. That you might take to the field suitably prepared, I would have you meet with a goblin acquaintance of mine. His name is I would have you meet with a goblin acquaintance of mine. His name is Mutamix Bubblypot, and he is a scholar of no small repute. Hello. Mutamix is renowned for having introduced a revolutionary method of enhancing equipment to Eorzea. The knowledge of this method was once a closely guarded secret, but thanks to Mutamix and his students, it has now been disseminated to the great benefit of all the realm. Got a couple of those early dungeons on my freebie. I'm still determined to get Koos to play this. I completely forgot that you can play Realm Reborn and Heavensward and level all the jobs to 60 for free. So he's got no excuse not to play it. So I'm going to keep pestering him. I'm going to break him down until eventually he decides to play it. It would serve you well to acquire an understanding of the process. For this purpose, I shall lend you a blade. Take it to Mutamix and bid him use it to demonstrate his craft to you. I mean, did they need to keep this part in New Game Plus? I thought they like trimmed all this down, so it was just like the good, meaty stuff. But they're having us learn materia and that. If you're playing New Game Plus, you already know this. They didn't need to keep this part in. I thought they trimmed a lot of Realm Reborn down. Mutamix is ever to be found at his camp in central Thanalan, a place known as the Bonfire. Look for a pillar of smoke, and the way will become clear. I've like never melded materia, hardly ever, because you just don't need it. Honestly, I'm getting by playing with randos, doing all the shit that everyone else does. I mean, it's also interesting as well that they're getting rid of belts. So now when you're doing the in-game grind, don't go for belts anymore because they are now getting rid of them. Belts are becoming a thing of the past. I was kind of hoping they were going to say, right, we've decided to get rid of belts because they serve no benefit statistically or visually, but we'll replace them with capes. I would have liked capes. Yeah. Never mind. Da-da. Mutamix bubbly pots. The problem is I'm gonna have to be careful in like the expansions because I know during the story there's a lot of tracks pop in that might get us in trouble. It's horrible this. That's why Duck Sauce had it right the other day. He said one of the reasons why he stopped streaming, because obviously he was more of a chatting streamer. He chatted while listening to music, and the music played a big part in the background of his stream. And since all the DMC has stopped, he decided, well, this is probably the best time for us to take up my other hobby. And now he does, like, he now chops trees in the middle of a snowy mountain, and he's building a log cabin. Him and his wife bought a log cabin and a big plot of land. So he's like chopping down trees on his property, and he's like building shit with it. And he said one of the reasons why he was, one of the reasons, one being he was tired of playing his character of Duck Sauce, and the other as well because like the whole music situation on Twitch. It's horrible now that you've got to tiptoe around everything. It just takes the fun out of streaming. Again, fair enough if someone's deliberately, if someone's got fucking Discord on and they've got like, I don't know, some popular music playing in the background. Fair enough, that's on them for doing that. But if you're sitting playing your game and the music is in the game, there should be some sort of license to protect you in that instance. But again, Twitch won't do nothing about it. And what I said the other week is, all that's going to happen is, because streaming is so beneficial to developers and that, because it's big free advertisements as well as like cheap sponsored advertisements. Like they'll pay someone a small sum just to advertise that game for an hour or two to thousands of people, and it's cheaper than like buying massive billboards and printing this, that, and the other, and what have you. And so what people are just going to end up doing is they're just going to end up, because of the music industry doing what they're doing, it'll probably get to the point where game developers will just say, right, we'll stuff it, we'll just have our own in-house team do this. They'll make the music. Screw third-party companies that can shove their licenses up their arse. Because I think in the long run, again, because of how big streaming has become these days, like you've got these big streamers that are pulling thousands of viewers in every day, and that's a big advertising avenue for game developers, especially smaller game companies as well. But that's the problem. Like I said, that side of it will never happen though, Lullaby, because that's why it's happening in the first place, because all these third-party companies like Warner Brothers and who else was it? It was two companies that started this whole process. It was Warner Brothers and someone else. But anyway, it's companies like them just scrimping every penny they can from just wherever they can get it from. And again, you know, you've got people like T-Pain here on Twitch. He's making music and saying, yeah, use it. As long as you use it on a streaming platform, do whatever you want with it. Just don't go, like, profiteering from it by, like, taking his tracks and selling them somewhere else, you know what I mean? But you can use his tracks here on Twitch, on YouTube, on Facebook, and he doesn't give a shit. And again, it's because he's one of those artists that wants to support this industry, and he's become a big streamer as well because of it. Because it's a good place to network with other people. Right, what am I doing? Bubbly pots. Nah, unfortunately it's not covered under fair use when it comes to licensed music, because again, the licenses, the artist might turn around and say, oh yeah, you can use it, but the person who represents that artist and holds the license could say, no, you'll give us money, stop using our crap, or we will take court action against you, blah blah blah. It's just all the suits in the background. Yes, there are some artists that are in the same mindset as those suits and saying, oh, you're stealing from us. But again, it's a grey area in the sense that, yes, if you're sitting playing like an Eminem or whoever, whatever, on your stream, yes, then that's on you. You're doing it wrong. You shouldn't be doing that. But if you're just sitting playing a game and that game just happens to have an Eminem song in it, in that instance, there should be some sort of protection with that game. But again, it's a grey area because streaming, again, it's your choice to come on the internet and go, right, well, I'm going to sit and play this game and let people watch it. It's like, you know, people going to the cinema and recording. Well, I suppose not really. I was going to say it's like people going to the cinema and recording movies on the sly and then sharing them. Not really. Is it? Because again, you're still putting this disc in and you're letting someone else sit and watch it. So it's, I don't know. It's a grey area, and it needs to change because the music industry's laws are all outdated and stupid. But at the same time, if artists want to protect their shit, that's up to them. Nah, no, but that's the point, though. They don't get to play it, but they get to sit and watch it and then go, oh, well, I don't need to buy it anymore. I've just sat and watched him do it. especially games that are story driven, like Until Dawn, or is it Dead by Dawn? What's that PlayStation game where you're like up in the mountains with the friends and there's like Wendigos and things like that? You know what I mean? Like those sort of movies those sort of games where it's mainly a one-shot play, you know? Like you've played it once, you know everything. Same with like scary games, you play them once. Yeah, exactly. Like Lou's perfect example there. He's watched me play a load of games, and because he's seen me play it, in his mind, he doesn't need to bother going buying it because he's seen it. And that's where the grey area comes in with some of the games. I don't know. It's not going to go away. It's here now. Because of COVID and all that, all these studios have finally had the time to sick their lawyers onto Twitch and say, right, this has been a long time coming. But yeah, it makes some people want to play the games, but not everybody. Again, there's still going to be a percentage of people that are going to go, I'm watching this guy play this. I don't need to go buy it anymore. Ha ha ha, I got to see this game for free. So again, yes, there is a big majority of people will see a game and go, oh, cool, that looks interesting. This guy's enjoying it. Maybe I'll check it out. But again, it goes both ways. But like I said, because if I don't know how, this is my assumption anyway, I could be wrong. If a developer had to choose between paying these artists to make some songs or just get someone in-house to do it and then allow gamers to stream their game and advertise it for them so they're getting free advertisement, or get these third-party artists bitching and moaning because this person's playing their music in the game that they agreed to make a song for. Like I said, if I was a game developer, I'd just say, well, take your license and shove it. I'll just get someone else to do it, or I'll do it in-house. Or get some sort of, get some sort of contract legalized that an artist must sign before they perform, agreeing that if it's in their game, it'll fall under fair use. If it's not being used in their game, like Square Enix have got a term with this game, and most other game companies have. If I just sat here with this on, and I just let the music play, Square Enix could then say, right, well, you're using our music not for its intended purpose. You're sitting making money off of our music when it's not being played with the game. And they could say, right, well, you need to stop that. And they do. That is in the terms. Other games do it as well. Atlas with Persona, Square Enix and all their games. Most companies, they don't want you just sitting like this with their music playing in the background. But if I'm sitting like this, and say I go away and I just leave it like that, they can't do nothing about it because the game's on. As long as I at some point return and carry on playing my game. I thought that guy was called Wank Tank. War Tank. Right, Melty Pot. Melty Pots. Yeah, it's not going to go away. It's here to stay now. These companies... And what's made worse is there are even more scummy people who say Square Enix say, oh, you can play most of our shit, no bother. Crack on. If a third-party person, like, if I decided to pull out my guitar and play a cover of this song that's playing now, I could copyright my cover of it and then get Twitch's algorithm to listen for that And so Twitch's algorithm would confuse the original with my cover and then go, oh, they're playing something they shouldn't, and it would flag that person and ban them. And that's a lot of what's happening at the minute. There are a lot of false stuff going on Twitch. Mainly because Twitch is using an old, outdated algorithm that they used back on Justin TV for that movie section. That movie section was just rampant with piracy, people streaming Scrubs, fucking The Simpsons, Family Guy, what have you, football. And so they slapped together this system to, like, try and stop that. And when Twitch became a thing and Justin TV closed, rather than update it, Twitch just cut corners and copied that system over to here. However, up until today, it's never been a problem because these companies would, you know, they'd get about, I think they said they got about 500 a year. Now they're getting like thousands and thousands within weeks of demands that people's streams are taken down. And again, it's because they've got this old system and they've not updated it. And they probably never will. Because fuck it, Twitch is making money. Easier for them to just ban you and get on with it. Let's see. Who is Uplander come to tent ring of Mutamix bubbly pots? Make knife, please. Shiny gems. Fighty tool, drink in airy what? Fighty tool drinks in airy self. When full of airy self, Fighty tool changes to stony shine. Name of materia. Why are you all talking like that? If materia join with other Fighty tool, then big eyes! Fighty tool gains new power of airy self. Mutamix is reckoning that Uplander is friend of Minfilia. Yeah, why did they keep this in? Again, this is New Game Plus. If they do New Game Plus, then clearly you've already done this. I thought they cut a lot of this out. Yes, tongue flaps reach ears of Mutamix with fastness. Minfilia want Uplander to see power of materia. Uplander bring Fighty tool to Mutamix, yes? I mean, everywhere I read, it said they've trimmed it down quite a bit. This is part of the main scenario. Whenever it's got the flaming quest symbol, that's a main scenario. And this was a main scenario, but it's not really needed. Fighty tool is unstrong as eating tool. A good teachy sure of power of materia. The materia master. Now eyes of Uplander point at Fighty tool, yes? Materia join with Fighty tool. Cool. Bye. Fighty tool gains power of materia. Fighty tool reborn. Yeah, Uplander. Take Fighty tool to Minfilia. Materia, strictly speaking, is a kind of crystal. It is created by drawing out the etheric constituents. Oh god. From a piece of equipment and then crystallizing them. Not just any old equipment will serve, mind you. It must have sufficient spirit bond. that being a measure of how fully an item has been imbued with its owner's spirit. Again, did you guys bother with this very often? I think once throughout my entire play of this game so far, I think I've only ever imbued a full set of gear once. You can get through the game no bother without it. Especially if you're playing with randos. When you attach a piece of materia to gear, you imbue the host item with its power. That's how Master Mutamix turned that dagger of yours from summit as would have struggled to cut steak into a weapon worth wielding. Uplander wishes to be joiner of materia? Then Uplander best fill brain case with knowings of crafty making. With knowings of crafty making, Uplander can become joiner of materia. If Uplander wants brain case to rattle with knowings of materia, Uplander best trade tongue flaps with learny ones of Mutamix. Okay. Bye! Lahi. I need to change my top. I am roasting. I put this on to keep us warm because I had to go on my motorbike this morning to get my bike MOT. I didn't put my scarf on, and riding back because it was chucking it down with rain. And obviously the temperatures at the minute are a bit lower. And I was riding back and it was like my neck was just going to fall off because it was just freezing. Anyway, I'll be back in a minute. She just hopped up roasting. Oh boy. Much better. Woo. Yes, that was weird being out on my bike today because I've not been out on my bike since the first lockdown in like last March, was it? Do 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 do. Beep, 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 beep. So when's this Lunar Whale coming out? When can we buy it? And it better not be 23 quid like the that stupid chocobo carriage. No, not him. God, oh. Welcome back, Jasix. Trust your visits to the bonfire proved useful. Ah, what a remarkable difference a single piece of materia can make. Granted, the skills needed to manipulate the substance are not easily acquired, but one need only look upon the results to realize such efforts are worthwhile. Oh yeah, another thing, I need to catch up before this new debuff gets patched in. The developers were saying during the live showcase that the characters are basically what characters are becoming too strong, and the system that handles all the numbers in the background can't handle it. So they've got to have like a major debuff. So their example was basically characters from level 50 onwards. Normally, every level you would get a 5% stat increase. And this new one is going to bring it down, so it's only 1%. So they're going to basically debuff everybody, because they said going forward, when this whole new story begins and everything, they need to be prepared for it. I am sure you are aware, the quality of one's equipment can be the difference between victory and defeat. Materia may well give you the edge you need, Jasix, so make it your ally. Nah. Now, it's time we discuss the matter of your next mission. Pray, speak with me when you are ready to begin. Lord of the Inferno! Fleet. Word has arrived from Thancred concerning our ongoing investigation. It appears he was able to extract some information from our friend Ungust. Is it Ungust or Unjust? We had Ungust. The false priest. He revealed that he is due to meet with the Amaljar to discuss their dealings. The Immortal Flames believe that the meeting will present an ideal opportunity to ambush the culprit, the Amaljar, and capture the Amaljar responsible for the abductions. And so they mean to have Unjust. I'm going to just say Unjust. It's probably Unjust, because Ungust sounds stupid. Attained as planned. As the Amaljar are anticipated to offer fierce resistance, the Immortal Flames have requested our support. I would have you provide it to them, Jasix. Thancred is presently attending to another matter, but will join you as soon as he is able. Until such time as he does, you will be the Scion's sole representative on the ground. I love that. Literally, I've just met these people. And they're like, oh, go speak to this guy and learn about Meldon. Okay, now go and get burnt to a crisp by a primal. Welcome to the group. Before he left, he bade me tell you to save some for him, such as his confidence in you. Confidence I share. When you have made ready, pray take yourself to Camp Drybone and report to the Flame Sergeant leading the mission. May you walk in the light of the crystal. Gonna fight Ifrit, kick him in the peener. Because he's a big wiener. He likes the wieners. Burp. Ooh, my progress bar is out of line. OCD. Yeah, I'm wanting to get my hands on a laptop. Now, stupid expensive. Just something that can play this. And then on nice days, my plan is chill in the garden on sunny days. Or, if I've got a good service plan on my phone, just get on my bike and go out in the country. Yeah, I'm playing on Monk. Like I said, I'm playing every campaign with each job that I originally played them. So around Reborn, I did Monk. Heavensward, I did Machinist. Stormblood, I did Samurai. Shadowbringers, I did Dancer. And then everything else in between I just messed around with. But now that we know the main job for Endwalker is Paladin, I'll need to get that to 80. I've got it to 70 already, but I need to get those extra 10 levels ready for the expansion. And practice, because I'm not the best of tanks. I tend to avoid those sort of jobs. I need to move that. Hey, Newton, how you doing? I'm confused. Like Yoshi P and the CEO said that anyone who owns the PS4 version will get a free upgrade. And I just know Sony is going to fuck that up royally. Because if you go onto the PlayStation Store after you have already bought it from the PlayStation Store, it will treat it as if you don't own it. You've got the licenses registered to the account, but the store itself will treat it as if you don't own it. So, you know. But yeah, I might install the PS5 version, because obviously it makes it very simple. Huh. Now think about it. That could be my laptop. PS4, power bank, and a little monitor. Then I would have to stream directly from the PS4 though. And I hate the streaming software built into them because it's garbage. I don't know, I'm just always shitty with the responsibility. Like, I like DPS because I can just wail on shit. Generally, I like the DPS roles better in the sense that I just feel they're a lot cooler. That's just me. Like Samurai, Machinist, you know, pew pew pew. Whereas Paladin, it's like, here's my sword and shield. For the first 3 or 4 dungeons, 8 minutes. Well, I'm tempted to try this Sage when it comes out. But obviously, like I said, the main story this time is supposed to be Paladin, so I might play it through on that and then switch to Sage. Right, anyway. But we'll see. Report the Flame Sergeant, Captain Drybird, and then go punch Ifrit in his giant testicles. Use them like dribble bags. Rocky style. Yeah. Ah, you're Jasix Thildred of the Scions. My thanks for coming, friend. We're stronger for your assistance. Allow me to brief you on our mission. Our objective is to capture Amaljar and prize from them the whereabouts of the abductees. Lizardmen aren't aware that their man, Unjust, has been exposed. They come to the rendezvous point to meet the traitor. We'll spring the trap. Owing to the clandestine nature of the mission, we can deploy only a small contingent. Every member must count, and so we requested the aid of the Scions. The rendezvous will take place at the Invisible City. Please make your way there and lie in wait. We stand to learn much and more of the Amaljar plot if the mission succeeds, Jasix. Let's make sure it does. Yeah, I'm very curious now. Has there been any more progress made on 1.0? I was watching a video on YouTube last night, Bloodborne gun only run, and it was really making us want to play Bloodborne. Final Fantasy 14 1.0. Let's see, what's the latest that crops up for that? Final Fantasy 1.0, Gaius vs. Circle of Knowledge. Ah? Dark Times of Final Fantasy 3 weeks ago. Legacy 1.0 character, Realm Report now. Final Fantasy 14 in a nutshell, 14 intro. Nah, it still doesn't look like anyone's managed to get a fully working... That's a shame. I'd really love to play through the original story. But yeah, it doesn't look like anyone... There's people keep trying, like they get all the server kit, they download all the patches and that, because you can still get them online. And then they get to the point where you can run around in the game, you can fight stuff, but there's no quests, there's no story. So there's nothing to do, really. And then that's as far as they ever seem to get. They seem to just all give up at that point and move on. Which is a shame. I'd love to install a private server that's fully complete and just play through the story. How do I get out of here again? The Invisible City. It was an absolute shit show. There was pots. Literally in Gridania, there was pots that had a higher pixel count than most of the area around it. And those pots alone were enough to lag you out if you got too close to them. It would make your game run like absolute garbage. There was no free market. Basically, what you had to do was your retainers. There was a market hall. And you'd go to that market hall. There was a couple of stalls on the side. Literally about 12 stalls within this big hall. And if you were lucky, you could rent one of those stalls. And you'd have your NPC stand behind the stall as if he's like a vendor. And people would be able to check your retainer and see what they're selling. But the problem was, the market hall, again, because there was no auction board, you couldn't go to the auction board and just type in, oh, I want this. And it would bring up what you need. No. You had to, there was literally this hall full of hundreds of NPCs, hundreds of retainers, and you had to go through them one by one by one, searching for what you want. And then on top of that, the menus themselves were server side. Rather than being on the player side, they were server side. So the menus themselves were slow, unresponsive, and yeah. But obviously in Final 11 you also had the market board. There was none of that in the original Final 14. There was no market board. It was just retainers that would just stand there and sell your stuff for you. And again, because the menus were also server side, they were slow, unresponsive, and so you'd click on an NPC and it would take, like 2-3 seconds before you'd get a response and a menu would pop up. And then the menus themselves were slow. Also, normal NPCs as well. Like if you went to a shop, like just a random NPC to buy like potions or sell, particularly sell things. If I remember, you would have to sell things one at a time. You couldn't sell in bulk. So if you had a stack of crap that you were just wanting to get rid of, you'd have to go buy that, sell that one, sell that one, sell that one, and you'd be stood there for ages trying to clear up your inventories. The battle system was not perfect either, but it wasn't as bad as the menu side of things. Like I said, general navigation of your menus and things like that was an absolute shit show. But yeah, but again, people stuck it out. I stuck it out to the end. I got to the final boss. Unfortunately, I didn't beat him. I literally got to the... Did I beat him? I can't remember. I remember seeing him. I'm sure I might have actually beat him. But I got to the very end of the main story. I wasn't on the final day, though, when the servers were shutting down. So I missed that. But I stuck that game out. While that game was still up, those that paid for it basically helped support the creation of this game. Realm Reborn. People who kept their subs active helped support the development of this. And that's why legacy members became a thing. People who played the game, still supported it, became a legacy member, and they got like a permanent discount on their sub. Not a big discount. £1. However, we don't get a discount on the 30-day one from the looks of it. How much is the 30-day sub for you lot? For me, it was like $6.50 for 30-day. And for the 90-day, it's like £18.50. I can't remember for the 180-day one. But yeah, we get a really small percentage of a discount. As well as, obviously, we got the Legacy Chocobo, which was why Chocobos that were with were in the original game. The only disappointment there is... That's not my Legacy Chocobo. And you can't make your companion your Legacy Chocobo, so it sort of like defeats the purpose. Yes, I can ride around on it, but I can't fight with it. So it's fucking stupid. And they never changed that, unfortunately. It was a shame. Where is it? Mount Guide. $8.99, 25, 40. Yeah, so yeah, for me it's like $6.50, something like that for the 30-day, and 18 something for the... Yeah. Again, that's because it was like a thank you for those that stuck by the original and helped support the development of this game. So we got like a permanent discount as thanks. As well as, obviously, we got our Legacy Chocobo. And obviously, my original character has like a tattoo on his neck. But unfortunately, that's specific to that character. And because, again, I tried to play this game with Koos. At the launch of this version, Koos couldn't join the original servers because the original servers were already overpopulated. So new players were forced to make new characters on new servers. And so I had to make a new character to play with Koos on a new server. My original is on Excalibur, and this is on Phoenix. So I ended up playing through the beta and the alpha and a bit of the launch game with Koos, but he quickly quit. But by that time, I'd obviously already started this, and there was a couple of people still around. But yeah, I'd always wished that I could merge my original character with this character. Don't know why. I just want my tattoo. I don't know why. Just a freaking tattoo. Oh, it's Lamont. Yeah, Lamont. He was one of the guys who played through one. Lamont, did I beat the end of 14? I can't remember. I'm sure I did it with you and Meanie. By the way, nice to see you again. How's it going? I'm sure I did it with you and Meanie. Dude in the white armor. He'd walk up some fancy stairs. And he was like standing at the top, if I remember. I can't remember if I actually beat him. Yes, Lamont was one of the original people that I played 14 with, the original Final 14. Him and Meanie. Meanie doesn't play anymore because Meanie, it was sort of like banging your head against the wall playing with Meanie because Meanie just be like, I push buttons. Not that I'm great at it, you know, I don't claim to be an amazing Final player. But, yeah, Meanie gave no shits about story or anything. Meanie just pressed buttons. He didn't give a crap about the story or what was going on. He just wanted to press buttons and make things fall over. Me, like I've said, the whole reason I play this is the story. And it's weird that it's finally coming to an end. I wonder where the story's going to go next. Yeah, Meanie, I don't think Meanie plays MMOs anymore. I think I don't know what he plays now. I've not really spoken to Meanie in a while. Trying to ring him recently, but he's very much a hermit these days. Yes, I decided to play through New Game Plus. I've not touched the Shadowbringers patch content yet, but because I had to delete all my Twitch content, so I've decided New Game Plus. At least get my content back, put it on YouTube, delete it off Twitch, move on. Then I want to enjoy the story again. Is the bait in place? Our man is in position, sir. Good. We make our move as soon as the Amaljar appear. Yes, sir. No, auto text. No, what's the meaning of this? You are under arrest. Wait, something's amiss. I'm afraid your little ambush ends here. I eluded the Immortal Flame's clutches for moons before finally being caught. Did you not wonder how I managed it? 'Twas almost as if someone was feeding him his information from the inside. Ah, your every movement was known to me ahead of time. Now, as much as I'd love to chat a while, I have appointments to keep. Well, I mean, the good thing now is this whole all-worlds jump, whatever the hell they called it. Like, it's no longer just within your cluster you'll be able to jump. They did say there would still be some limitations, but they haven't specified on it. Did they specify it in the live letter yesterday? I just saw the live announcement, and then once that ended, I didn't see the live letter because, like hell, was I sitting up till daft o'clock? I had to take my bike for its MOT. They're all yours. It's a myth! Oh, I need to move my target bar. Can you guys hear me fine over like the fight? I'd have to turn it down a smidge. There we go. So that's better. Keep coming, or is there an end to them? So I should turn my focus to the main guy. And the other guy's fine. Loot, loot, loot. Put up your weapon, or your comrades are dead men. Behind you! Sleepy. Bring him. The rest of you, march. Traitorous scum. See, I'll probably install this on my PS5. I get the free upgrade. Why not? As long as, like I said, Sony doesn't screw it up, because I said if you've bought the game, it registers a license to your account, but if you go back on the store, it treats it as if you haven't bought it. Like most games you buy on the PlayStation Store, it'll change from the price tag to purchased. Doesn't do that with Final. Sony will probably screw it up. Hopefully not. Fear the Emeljar mean to give us to their god as an offering. If I must die, then let me die a soldier's death, with steel in hand. Yeah, I had a lot of problem with it, because it treated Final Fantasy XIV Realm Reborn separately from the expansions. So it couldn't recognize that the expansions were part of that. And Final 15 thought that Final 14's expansion was DLC. Same with Final 14. Final 14 thought that Final 15's DLC was part of its DLC. And I was on for weeks with Sony trying to fix it. In the end, I just bought one of the packs that included everything, and I just didn't apply the license for Realm Reborn, and it just sorted everything out. What am I doing? Duty finder. Alright, time to go kick Ifrit in the penis. Bowl of embers. Yeah, how this goes. Yeah, like I said, the one thing I don't like about New Game Plus is that you can't go off and do all that stuff while you're waiting for duties. You've just got to stand around like a lemon because you're literally locked into just being able to do the quests. You can't run off and like go do crafting quests or what have you. And I can't you can't interact with the market board, the NPCs, or anything. You just got to do the story. It treats New Game Plus like it's its own like shell. So if I want to go do all that stuff, I've got to then go to New Game Plus and suspend it. So then it'll put us back into the normal world. And then I can do everything else. But when you're in this state, this sort of play state, you've just got to do the story. At least that's how it seems so far, because I've not been able to do anything else when I've tried. And obviously you don't get experience. You get experience from killing trash mobs, but you don't get experience from like the quests or completing a dungeon. You'll get a bit of experience if it's someone's first time. You'll get that extra for like it being their first time. But that's it. So, I've just got to twiddle me thumbs. How's it hanging, mate? Listen well. These waters feed into the marshes of Dryborn. Short swim will see us to freedom. However, all of us attempt to flee, we are like to be discovered. You alone must sneak out and assemble a rescue party. Once you have won free, seek out our comrades stationed at Dryborn. We'll show you the way back there. Back here. Yeah, the 12 speed your way. No. You two find a comfortable, yeah. I'm out! Yeah. Can you swim in the old areas? Made it so you can fly, but I just try to jump in that water then as an invisible wall. I can't fly in here. Boing, boing. I like this little thing. I've not actually seen how big this is. If a Rogadon, like, has a one. Already this thing's quite big, unless it just doesn't change, I don't know. Because obviously some things change, like the motorbike for me is teeny tiny. But if a Rogadon or someone gets on it, it's a lot bigger. Will I get banned for this music? This car's cool. Proper janky for like driving around. Just the way it turns. Just looks stupid. I might go back and play that again as well. Some point 15. I never did finish episode Arden. The last one. Never finished the last DLC. I like that I can just whistle for days and my mic's just like, we don't know what you're doing. Love this new plugin. Great. Oh, I even tested. I could even put the sound on my TV, and this will no longer pick it up because of that new compressor plugin that Streamlabs has. It works a treat. Obviously, it'll pick it up when I speak. When I'm quiet, it won't pick up the telly or anything. Puts it all out. Average wait time 8 minutes. I'll say 10. Because the average wait time is always bollocks. I get some crisps while I'm waiting. Watch it pop while I'm away. It all out. It's chucking it with rain. It's horrible outside today. Actually, it's been horrible the past few days. Constant rain. Yeah, it picks that up. I think if I put it right to the mic, it picks it up, but... Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how this new filter works. But it works, mostly. Yes, I'll play this until about 6. I'll stop, I'll get some food, and then about, I'll say 8 o'clock. Koos says he'll be on at 7, but Koos can't keep time to save his life, so we'll say 8 o'clock. And we'll do some Gears 5. What's going on in the gaming world today? Have a look. Treyarch nerfs Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War jump shotting. What? Ooh! There's a game coming out soon called Lunark. Or Lunark, whatever. I'm very interested in it. If you've ever played a game called Flashback, this game is literally just Flashback. I like the art style. Very nice art style. There's a link to it. Yeah. Yeah, I thought this whole... The fact that it now pulls duties from across clusters hasn't really helped that much. I mean, I'm not sitting for hours. Like in Final 11 on my Dragoon, I'd be sat for like 3 hours just waiting for a party. And that's why I got bored of that game in the end, because the DPS queue times were just... But... Yeah. I mean, the system obviously now is supposed to pull parties from across the servers within a cluster. But... Just depends on the time of day still, though. Normally our server picks up... I mean, it's the weekend, it should be active. But on a weekday, it's normally like 6 p.m. till 10 p.m. where it's its active time, because it's everyone jumping on to do their dailies and do their end game runs. And then once they've done that, it quiets down at about like 10 p.m. Yeah. I said my original character's on Excalibur. Might not be so bad. If this new server system where you're free to hop between servers becomes a thing, then finding parties might not be so bad. Just depends what these limitations are going to be that they said they will have to introduce. It's probably going to be something like, if you move to a different server, you can't hop to another one for like a couple of hours. Some sort of limitation. Because otherwise people will just be constantly hopping around servers trying to get the most active servers and that. So to prevent that, and to stop servers from becoming too overpopulated, they'll probably have that something like that in place where if you hop to a server, you can only go back to your original, but you can't hop to another one within a certain time. You have to like wait an hour or something. Something like that. I could see that being the limitation. Otherwise, the constant data streaming back and forth between the different server clusters as people are just constantly hopping around would probably play havoc on the queue times of people logging in as well. Yeah, but you can only do that at the minute within your cluster. You've got your cluster. Within that cluster is all the servers like Phoenix and whatever servers are within Phoenix's cluster. But they're now going to introduce it so you can hop to other clusters as well. Yeah, pretty much. You can hop to the other data centers. That's the next big step. But the stated immediately after, it will have limits. And like I said, the most obvious one I can think of is have a hop time period, like a time limit between hops. So if you hop to one server within another cluster, your only option there is to go back to your original or wait an hour or something before you can hop to another one. Because I guarantee if they just let you have free reign of it, people will just constantly hop to the most populated server. And so whoever's originally on that server, like someone who's originally, their character was created on that server, like if they come to log in, they'll be stuck in a queue because that server will be just flooded with people from other servers. Well, 15 minutes. Still waiting. First few dungeons, I was waiting 8 minutes. Again, 15 minutes isn't a long time, but it's why I don't do like the in-game shit. Like I said, I play this game purely for the story. I don't give two shits about the MMO side of it. If I could play this local co-op, for example, if I could get Lou and Lullaby and Koos on a local setup, that would do me fine. Obviously, we know that'll never happen, but yeah, I don't give a crap about the MMO side of it. Again, that's mainly because obviously I've got other games to play in that. Like, oh, me. I want to eat my crisps. I'm hungry. Howdy! I feel tall. But not wasting any time. Should take 2 seconds. I remember what the nails are thing in this easy version of it. If I have Fist of Earth on. Didn't receive no accommodation. The wars have been in deeps. No accommodation for you. Any clown can mash buttons. Nam 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 nam. Nam nam nam. Nam. Nam 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 nam. Ah, there you are, Jasix. Come, rest a while. We'll have no better opportunity. After witnessing their god's ignominious defeat, the Amaljar will be less inclined to risk our wrath, for a time at least. Now, where were we? Ah, yes. I was in the process of apologizing. I do hope you can forgive me. I arrived too late to be of any use to you or the abductees. They may be whole of body, but the same cannot be said of their minds. Once a man is tempered. What is a man? Ah, but it ill suits me to dwell on the negatives. Amidst all our misfortunes, there is still reason to rejoice. Ifrit is slain, and by your hand no less. It's the deed of no ordinary individual, Jasix. Not that I ever thought you were ordinary. On the contrary, I've long suspected that you have the potential to shape the fate of this realm. What can I say? My fine eyes for talent remains undimmed. Minfilia will be proud beyond all reckoning when she hears of your deeds. I trust you shan't object to my bearing the tidings to her. That way I can claim to have contributed something to this mission. You, meanwhile, have earned yourself a rest. Take some time to relax and return to the Waking Sands when you are good and ready. We can discuss matters in more detail then. Just don't take too long, will you? Realm's problems won't solve themselves. You did nothing! Stupid. I, on the other hand, saved the world! Huh? Oh. Nani? I didn't realise that. You click in the middle mouse. That activates auto run. The more you know. I always press the button. Yeah. Final 14's definitely got some of my favourite music. Like, on iTunes, I've got every single album, and that's it. I've got a couple other indie tracks on there, but it's mostly just Final music. And normally I'll have it playing in the background while I'm just playing the game. But because Twitch's new rules and regulations, gotta be careful, so I'm just sticking to what plays naturally in the game rather than just letting the whole playlist play on shuffle. Back in a minute. Wash the greasy crisps off my hand. How's the mic, by the way, lately? Other than that filter for background noise, I've added a couple other filters on. So hopefully it doesn't sound like it's clipping. I noticed lately it was doing that a lot. Because obviously I'm just naturally loud. Hopefully when I'm yelling on, it's not like crackling. And I've got it so it's got like a limiter on it so it can't like peek into the raid. Ah, the triumphant hero returns. Tancred told us the news upon his arrival. He's presently in the Solar giving his full report to Lady Minfilia. You should join them at once. Lady Minfilia is most eager to see you. Yes, ma'am. Generic person who will probably die later. Comment it fuck you. My late arrival nearly cost Jasix his life. I wasn't there when the Amaljar took him prisoner. I wasn't there when they served him to Ifrit. Ifrit? Man, I can't wait for 16. I hope it's good. I mean, Yoshi P's on board. But that's what one of my concerns was with this expansion, because obviously Yoshi P's overseeing 16. Like, that game's apparently been in the work for years. So I'm curious how far along it is, because we only saw like a CG trailer. And a little bit of gameplay during it. But yeah, I'm curious how the development will be affected between the two, because obviously Yoshi P's having to split himself between the two. And I don't know how many people from this team are also working on that as well. I've noticed this expansion seems to be taking a lot of influence from 10. Like, it's got those ride the show path, the whatever their races are, those elephant people, as well as anima. And someone cleverly observed that in one of the images of the area, that one that had like the bones and everything, like it looked like the bridges were made of like spines and things like that. That area that they showed, someone observed in part of it, it looked like the sisters from 10 were in the background. I'm forgetting their name. The summon sisters, like one of them's like a fat ladybird, and the other one's like a tall, lanky ant lady, and what have you. What were their names? I'm forgetting. But anyway, them. Yeah, the Madge. Someone observed that they look to be blended into that artwork of that area. So people are suspecting that they'll also be in as well. And Yoshi P obviously said that artwork where it's got Hydaelyn on the top and Zodiac on the bottom. Yoshi P said at the end of the live stage announcement that that image as well contains a lot of spoilers. If you look at it close enough, apparently, it contains a lot of spoilers to the expansion. But he said it'll be interesting for people to look at it now and then look at it after they beat the expansion, because he says they'll see that picture in a whole different light. If you don't want spoilers, don't look at that image too much. Apparently it's big spoily. Yes, by some miracle he survived. That does not excuse the fact that he should never have had to face such dangers alone. I failed him utterly. Hey, you sent me out to the Amaljar. You knew they were up to something sneaky. Just as I'm failing you all. What's done is done, Thancred. You can ill blame yourself for every... Morning! Jasix, so good to see you again. Impeccable timing, my friend. I had just finished regaling Minfilia with your heroic exploits. Thancred has told me everything. You have done well to return to us. Perils you faced were undeniably great. Maybe back in the day. Now I just... Oh yeah, they've also, because they're doing this whole downscale of everyone's stats and that, they admitted that it'll be a lot harder to do underscaled party runs. So I'm curious, because obviously now, like, for example, if I wanted, I could have queued up for that Ifrit and just did it myself, really. Will you still be able to do that sort of stuff, though, once this new rollback of everyone's stats occurs? Because like they said it was just an example, but they said that every time you level up now, you get like a 5% boost in your stats. But this rollback will make it so you'll only get 1%. So every level you've gained now will have 4% cut off of it. Yeah, it's going to make you a lot weaker. So solo and things like Ifrit and that might no longer be doable. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I mean, obviously the main reason they're doing it because they're looking ahead for the next chapter of the game. Because obviously you look at it now, you're going to be capping off at level 90. Imagine what you're going to cap off at the next story conclusion, and then the next one, and the next one, however long this goes on for. It'll end up suffering the same as World of Warcraft. Like, World of Warcraft, to my understanding, again, I don't play WoW, this is just something that I've gleamed from occasionally going in Towlies and other people's streams. The level became so high in that game that people just got sick of it. And so they rolled back everything. And again, if this game continues, it'll have the same fate. Because they even said that even though they're rolling back everything now, they might have to do it again in the future. They openly admitted that on stage, Yoshi P and the other guy, I forget his name, the one that was translating. They said they would probably have to do it again in the future. What I would think would make more sense, though, rather than capping off at 90, cap off at 100. Do this rollback, cap off at 100, so that the next story, you're starting at 101. You know what I mean? The previous game, you started level 1, you got to 100. Obviously, they're going to do the rollback of the stats, make you weaker, blah, blah, blah. Make it so the next story, you're 101, then 102, 103, and then cap that one off at 200, and then the next one's 202, and you know what I mean? I don't know, to me, it just seems to make more sense that way, rather than just finishing the story at 90. But, well. Powers of Face, one part of me believes that I had no cause to fear. And now we can put paid... What? And now we can put paid to our long investigation. Parlez-vous français? As we suspected, the Amaljar undertook both the robbery and the abductions with the aim of summoning their primal Ifrit. Nor is this tale limited to Uldar. Similar incidents have been rife in both Limsa Laminsa and Gridania of late. Which one do we do next? Is it Garuda next or Ramu? I remember. Probably gonna have to mute. Or I'm probably gonna have to mute Gridania, Garudas and Titans. Because obviously they got someone to sing Gridania's Now Father, that song. I dare say you've been curious as to how these crimes are linked to the primals. Permit me to explain. Having manifested in the physical realm, primals must consume ether, or ether, if they are to maintain their presence here. The stronger they become, the more ether they require. Now, ether exists throughout creation, flows through all life, and permeates the very air that we breathe. Alas, this alone will not suffice to sustain the likes of Ifrit. Nay, he and his kind require more concentrated sources of ether crystals. Or ether crystals. It is for this reason that incidents involving crystals can often be tracked back to a primal. Which leaves us with the why of the abductions. To understand this, you must first understand how primals are born. I think this might be the end of part 2. Maybe. Because I did do a good chunk of part 2 on Thursday. When all is well with the world, primals possess no physical form. Their essence is dispersed across the great river of ether. However, when the world is plunged into chaos, those who worship the primals cry out to their gods for deliverance from suffering. These cries serve as a beacon towards which Primal's essence is irresistibly drawn. It is this coming together, or etheric coalescence, which grants the being's physical form. Once born, a primal gains strength from its followers' worship. The more numerous and fervent they are, the more powerful their god becomes. But the primals are seldom satisfied with such reverence as their adherents freely give. And in order to gain more power, they do not scruple to create followers. They do this by tempering mortals, a process to which you yourself were subjected. Did it not work on me though, because the echo acts as a natural. Doesn't work on me though. Yet, even as Ifrit took your comrades in his thralls, you alone remained unaffected. This is thanks to the power you possess, the echo. We know not why of it. Those blessed with the echo are immune to primal influence. I wonder if the books pulled my entire wardrobe with us. Yeah, obviously they announced yesterday that this next expansion is going to be the end of the main story. And then a new story will begin after that. Will these get finished? These books, these encyclopedia things, because apparently the guys behind it don't seem too motivated to do another one. But obviously if the story comes to an end of the game, hopefully they will. Because I'm not sure how far this one covers. Like I said, I've not really getting to the second book yet. I'm sure this covers Stormblood. I think. Machinist. I see Samurai in here, then I know what it does. Samurai, yeah. Yeah. So this does definitely cover Stormblood. I don't know how much of it. I like the artwork in this book as well. So, hopefully, with the next expansion coming to an end, the guys behind these will finish it off, and the last book will cover. I did a bit of PvP. Like I've getting some PvP gear for me, Paladin and that, to make them look a bit swanky. But I took it off and I made my little onion knight instead. But yeah, hopefully the last book will get finished, and that'll cover Shadowbringers and Endwalker. Hopefully, be nice to complete it. And then if they don't want to do more from there, then fair enough. But yeah, I'm not really big on the PvP. I've done it. It's fun, but I've never really been huge on MMO PvP. Again, like I said, I mainly just play this because I like the story. It is though a great power protects us. When first you came to us, I told you that the Echo would be instrumental in dealing with the primal threat. I trust you now begin to see why. The recent incident all share a common trait. Meticulous planning. Such elaborate designs are a new development, and one which fills me with an unshakable sense of foreboding. While I share your concern, my presiding feelings is one of relief at your safe return. Ah, the immortal flames assured me that they will deal with the aftermath. So you need not concern yourself with that. We may rest easy for a time. I suggest you take full advantage of the respite, Jasix. Now, story! Give it. You may be sure it won't last long. Once the people learn the identity of the hero who failed Ifrit, I fear you will have nary a moment to yourself. Whether she intended to or no, Minfilia neglected to tell you something. Something I think it would be best you heard from one of us. Concerns the tempered abductees that were rescued. Sorry to report that all are to be put to death. The flames with whom you were imprisoned included. Just to say, this information must not be made known to the public. I swear to you that we would not do this if there were any other recourse. But once a man is tempered, he is tempered for life. His very existence lends strength to the primal whom he cannot choose but worship. And so we Scions continue our fight, that no more innocents need be sacrificed. I hope that you will continue to stand with us, Jasix. But I should be going. I must offer my apologies to the Flame General for the losses of his people suffered. Till next time. My people need me! Hooray! Gods forgive me. How many more lives? We swore would never have allowed this to happen. I have to do better. Have to be stronger. A hero in the making. Minfilia is wearing a wry smile. Might it have something to do with your newfound fame? Till not so very long ago, you were but one of the many adventurers seeking to make their way in Eorzea. But for your character and courage, you were raised to the esteemed point of envoy. Thereafter, you travelled the realm, aiding those in need without thought of reward, confirming to Thancred that the Scions would benefit from your aid. And no sooner had you joined us than you personally bested the primal Ifrit. You have achieved a great deal in a short time, and won fame in so doing. Alas, fame does not come without a price, as you will soon discover. We have guests, Jasix, or rather, you have guests. Beg pardons. The grand companies. Ah, Lady Minfilia, radiant as always. I am given to understand that the Scions of the Seventh Dawn have but recently welcomed a new hero into their midst. I am here on behalf of the Maelstrom, Grand Company of Limsa Lominsa, to offer said hero a place of honor within our ranks. I'm already in your ranks, mate. Look again. I probably outrank you. As you can see, Jasix, your recent exploits have garnered you the attention of the grand companies of Eorzea. Each organization would have Ifrit's bane for its own. This end, all three have sent officers to court you. They would not ordinarily go to such lengths to enlist a new recruit. That they have is evidence of their high regard for you. I find myself wondering how word of Jasix's deeds spread so quickly. That the immortal flame should know his triumph is to be expected. But what of the other grand companies? Big mouth! You're fired! Your reputation precedes you, Master Thuldred. There's no ordinary man who can face a primal and emerge the victor. The Order of the 12 Adder has need of valiant men such as you. Join your strength to ours, friend, and together let us ensure the peace ever reigns over the 12 Wood. What a pleasure it is to finally meet you, Master Thuldred. My comrades speak of you in the most glowing terms. Why, even before you aided us against the Amaljar and their dread primal, yours was already a respected name in Uldar. Our people know you and love you well. A man of your talent belongs with the immortal flames. Join your strength to ours, friend, and together let us secure a prosperous future for Uldar. The Admiral was not exaggerating when she said you had the look of a hero. Full often does she speak of you, friend. It is only natural that we should want you for the Maelstrom. Join your strength to ours, and together let us see the grand vessel of Limsa Lominsa to the shores of glory. 9. Hard pass. Lady Minfilia. Very well. Though I am quite sure you need no reminding, mayhap a brief summary of the situation would help to clarify your thoughts on this matter. As you know, the Grand Companies are all-encompassing organizations empowered to call upon the martial, economic, and technological resources of their respective city-states in times of strife. There are presently 3 such organizations in Eorzea: the Maelstrom of Limsa Lominsa, and the Order of the Twin Adder of Gridania, and the Immortal Flames of Uldar. Have they improved these yet? Like, is there any more ranks? Because I'm sure if I remember, you go to the Grand Companies and you look at the rank system, there's emblems there for ranks, but they do nothing. Or am I wrong in thinking that now? I know obviously they made it so you can get NPCs and you command them and go dungeon running with them and blah blah blah. But have they gone or made it even better? Serving a grand company means serving the nation to which it belongs. You will be charged with its defense and tasked with advancing its cause. What's going to happen in this situation? Because obviously it's going to make us choose, but obviously I've already chose. Now how it's going to progress this part. In return for your faithful service, you will be furnished with various rewards, some of which may well prove useful to you in your other endeavours. If you are agonizing over which of the Grand Companies best deserves your loyalty, be at ease. The commitment you make this day need not be permanent. If you wish to shift your allegiance at a later date, you are entitled to do so, and yet I concede that it is no small choice you face. A thought occurs to me. You will of course recall that the 3 city-states are planning to hold remembrance services. Well, as part of proceedings, I'm given to understand that the leader of each grand company will deliver an address. Hearing these addresses ought to help you make an informed decision. What say you, my dear officers? A fine suggestion. You are as wise as you are beautiful, my lady. Very well. Let Jasix hear our leader speak, then return here with his decision. We eagerly await your answer. Snitch! I know full well that the adventurers are, by their nature, a liberty-loving breed, and not best suited to the discipline of military service, but I strongly urge you to join a grand company nonetheless. Now, the promise of reward is enticing in itself, it is not the only benefit. You are possessed of great power, Jasix, and with it comes great responsibility. Much like Uncle Ben said, before he was shot and killed. And then Spooderman came a deal. Save the world! You know that great power is one to attract attention, not all of it friendly. There will be those who wish you ill, and you must needs be on the lookout for them. Yet, however vigilant you are but one man. In the midst of a grand company, however, you will be one man amongst many, a friend amongst friends. Your achievements will be shared, and so will be the danger. I can think of no better arrangement. Of course, joining one organization need not mean leaving another. I hope that we can continue to rely upon your aid. 12 know that we will have need of it in the days ahead. Grand companies seek to protect their own nations. We Scions, on the other hand, seek to preserve the future of Eorzea as a whole. Similar, yet not quite the same. Now then, expect that you will be afield more often in the future. As such, I would have you carry this link pearl with you at all times. It will allow us to stay in touch regardless of location. The link pearls where you wave your guilds in 11. Does anyone really use them anymore in 14? Because obviously you join a free company and link shells are... They're pretty much just your friends list. But there's a friends list in the game anyway. So does anyone even use them anymore? I made one in the beta with Kusanat. That was it. Never used it because I joined a free company and it sort of just made the link shells pointless. I mean, they might come in. I mean, they might more come in handy if you've got like a particular raid group. But again, I don't, so useless to me. Eorzea is changing, Jasix, and you have the power to help shape it anew. None can say what the morrow will bring, but so long as we believe in ourselves, there is naught we cannot achieve. Now, it's time you made ready for your journey. Before you depart, be sure to speak with Tataru. He will appraise you as to where and when the remembrance services are due to take place. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's pretty much just a glorified friends list now compared to like Final 11. But obviously there is an actual friends list. Where the hell is it now? Yeah, Legion of Light. I created that way back in the beta or the alpha. Can't remember. It's got nobody in it. Oh look, Abs is done. They're all still in Dango. Yeah, it's the same with Lou. I think he said his free company. Well, he's in Dango now, but his original free company, I think he said, was just mainly friends. Equatatsaru. Is it? Crack on for about another hour. Or two. Another hour or two. I'm sorry about all the attention you're getting, Jasix. I might have sung your praises a little too loudly and often. To a few too many people. Next time, I'll be sure to hold my tongue, literally if necessary. Anyway, I expect you want to know where and when the remembrance services are taking place. If all goes to plan, Vidania's Grand Company, the Order of the Twin Adder, will hold the first of the 3 services, and Elder Seedseer Kani Senna will deliver her address at Miketo Amphitheater. I should probably mention at this point that due to the organizational challenges involved in assembling all of involved parties, it's possible that each of the order of the services might change. Still, there's not much we can do about that. So make Gridania your first port of call. Next, you'll need to go to Uldal, where Flame General Rauban will be addressing the masses at the Royal Promenade. Oh, and it's rumoured there will be a special guest. How exciting. Last but not least, you make your way to the stateroom in Lims Alaminsa, where Maelstrom Chief Admiral Melvib... getting used to my first name, Melvib. She's Larsen. Will be given her address. The room is accessible via the Admiral's lift. Identify yourself to the sentry, Xanthale, and he will admit you. Got all that? Well, off you go then. I hope you find the remembrance services suitably educational. I suggest visiting the city-states in my prescribed order, though with your record of impeccable timing and luck, schedule may well change in favour of your preferred travel plans. Farewell! Gridania. See, they could easily cut this part out as well. I don't know, I can't remember if anything major happens during you going to see these parts. Obviously, it's just, you know there's going to be like a remembrance, but the main meat of this part is deciding which company you're going to join. But obviously, with it being New Game Plus, you've already done that, so really, they could have just had that part there with Minfilia and then just skip it. Because obviously, you've done it. Just have some message pop up saying, because you've already chose a Grand Company, you don't need to do this. Wait, do I go to the amphitheater now, or... Yeah.
I lost my son to the calamity.
The 3 Seed Seers are all together.
Some say you couldn't take a step without stumbling over a body. Our forebears were once strangers in the Twelveswood. Fearful of the Green Wrath, they hid themselves in the dark recesses of the earth. Yet they dreamed of basking in the dappled sunlight of the forest. Through great effort, they proved their worth to the elementals, and were granted a place beneath the boughs. So it was that Gridania was born, some 5 centuries ago. Working hand in hand, the Hyur and the Elysian settlers sowed the seeds of our civilization, and soon they were joined by folk of all races. So nourished by the waters of unity, and blessed by the light of the matron, Gridania flourished into the great nation it is today.
Do you see the Gridanian standard? There, hanging behind the Elder Seedseer. The entwined serpents represent the unity between Hyur and Elysian. An elegant symbol, do you not agree?
In accordance with the will of the elementals, we have embraced a life of peace. Alas, our neighbors have not always sought the same for themselves, nor for us. Though we Gridanians have no love for war, we have still less for those who would threaten our way of life. Ever have we fought to protect the sanctity of the Twelveswood. When the Garlean Empire brought its war of conquest to Eorzea, we rallied under the noble standard of the Twin Adder that we might push back the encroaching darkness. And it was we who prepared the ground for the reformation of the Eorzean Alliance, that all the peoples of this realm might stand united against the common threat.
Boo! Get off the stage!
5 years ago, the Alliance met the armies of the Empire upon the fields of Cartano. It would prove the bloodiest battle in recent memory. Countless Gridanian lives were lost.
It's good that in the final expansion we're finally going to the Empire's place. Because imagine if they finished the story and you never went there. I think a lot of people would be disappointed. I was expecting that's probably where we'd be going next. I wasn't expecting it to be the last expansion. But as soon as the title popped up of the expansion, I literally said, oh, this must be the end. 'Cause, I mean, it's called Endwalker, so... But, yeah.
As Supreme Commander of the Order of the Twin Adder, ever shall I bear the weight of our people's sacrifice.
I wonder where the story will go next. Who will be the next main villain? Because obviously, this is apparently going to wrap up the 2 gods of light and darkness as well. So, what's going to be the next big looming threat? How do you top the gods of light and darkness?
Alas, their loss was not the only tragedy to befall us that day, for soon came the calamity.
Calamity Ganon.
The scars borne by our forest are a constant reminder of its violence. Our lives have been irrevocably changed, each waking hour a struggle to survive.
Have you ever seen the original map lullaby of Gridania? The Black Brush area outside the town. Have you ever seen what the original map was like in 1.0? worst map ever in an MMO. I had to completely redesign it for this game because it was just god awful.
Driven to desperation, some among us have strayed from the path of righteousness, resorting to banditry, poaching, and other unconscionable deeds. To compound our woes, the Ixal have returned in force, emboldened by our suffering. They test our defenses nigh without cease, and prey upon the vulnerable. So beleaguered from within and without, it is of little wonder that our unity now falters. Dark times are upon us.
If you've never seen it before, check out this YouTube channel. There's a YouTube channel that's literally the fall and rise of Final Fantasy XIV. It literally pretty much tells you the history of the original Final 14 and how it was a pile of crap. God, I was watching the new expansion announcement on Niana's, a VTuber's channel, and throughout the whole thing, it was just constant, oh my god, it's just freaking the hell out. It was funny at times, but then at other times I was like, God, I can't hear. I mean, I could easily just went into the official channel, but it was funny watching our reactions, freaking out. Where is it? The fall and rise of Final. Is this it? Yeah, I think that's it there. Yeah, if you've never seen it before, that's a good YouTube channel to like brush up on the original history of Final Fantasy XIV. It like goes over the game itself, how it was badly designed. And then I think it does talk about the story as well. I think. If not, there's like literally videos on YouTube of people that have compiled every single cutscene. Should resub Blue. It's a good game. Play New Game Plus again. Refresh yourself.
Time was a man could walk the high roads without fear.
On this day, 5 years ago, countless Eorzeans laid down their lives that we might behold another dawn. Please join with me in honoring their memory.
And how do you propose to honor the memory of those you cannot remember, pray tell?
Listen to that voice. How many times did they change voice actors on people?
The destruction wrought by the calamity was indiscriminate. It dealt death to Eorzean and Garlean alike. Yet while we have labored to rebuild our homes, to rebuild our lives, the Empire has set about raising steel fortresses here in the Twelveswood. Let none be mistaken. The Garleans remain the greatest threat to our survival. If we are to stand against them, we must remember what it is to be united. Our many troubles blind us to the woes of our fellow man. Thence is harmony lost. Yet harmony is the founding principle of Gridania. We are gathered here to honor the fallen. Let them be honored not only in word and thought, but through concerted action. I bid you join hands with me once more beneath the Twin Adder standard. And together, let us heal the forest's wounds, that our progeny might live in harmony beneath these ancient boughs. For serenity, purity, and sanctity.
He's just not even watching. Reminders on to put the cutscene things back on, because I think, obviously, when I went to do Ifrit before, I missed the whole sequence with that. I'm sure I skipped it all, didn't it? Obviously, we got kidnapped, and then it was just like, right, queue up to fight Ifrit, right, done. But if I remember, Ifrit speaks to you.
We must think of the children.
Woods will be done.
It's up to us to protect the
Follow
forest.
the elementals!
Or maybe I was distracted and missed that part. I don't think it did. It didn't play the scene where he tries to temper us, did it? Like, we got knocked out, we woke up in the cave, and then I had to queue to fight him, didn't I? But because I had the cutscenes for primals and dungeons turned off,
If you'll permit me, Alfie, no.
or if you've already seen them, I need to put that back on for the time being that I'm playing through it again.
And my sister, Alize, at your service. I saw at a glance that you were a fellow traveler.
His voice actor's different as well.
You might call us students of history, sampling the realm's remembrances in pursuit of enlightenment.
The Gardanians are unfortunate enough to have to contend with two beast tribes. The Ixil are unquestionably the more troublesome, being of a naturally warlike disposition and want to summon their bloodthirsty primal Garuda. Of all of them, Ram is sort of the more chill of the primals. Because obviously he's capable, he's more of a humanoid than the others. Never know. Sylphs, by contrast, are peaceful in nature, being mischievous rather than malevolent, and have long been on friendly terms with the Gardanians, until recently at least. Alas, they have grown aloof, a change observed at roughly the time they summoned the primal Ram. Gardanians have no love for war, and they consider open conflict a last resort. While they clash with the Ixal ever more regularly, you may be assured that they do so in self-defense. As for the Sylphs, they are as yet bound by a peace treaty, though one wonders how long it will be before it is broken. Twelveswood was grievously wounded during the calamity, leaving Gridania vulnerable to attack. People are hopeful that restoring the wood, and thereby the power of the elements, will put an end to their wars. Yet how long will that take? Centuries, I'd wager. Meanwhile, the Ixil will continue their incursions spurred on by Garuda and her insatiable appetite for destruction. Whether the Gridanians like it or not, sooner or later it will come to an all-out war. And when it does, the Order of the Twin Adder will need all the help it can muster. How valuable might the aid of a capable adventurer prove to them then? One down, 2 million to go. Doobity-doobity-doo. There she blows. I'm gonna guess part 2 will probably end once I've done the Grand Company selection.
Behold, 'tis the Sultana Nanima herself!
And Roban as well.
Long may she reign!
Hark you, souls of flame, drawn to the bosom of the desert, where the fire burns brightest and shall rage forevermore. Hurrah! Rauban! Where since antiquity, under the sage and judicious rule of the Ul dynasty, we have wrought sand into gold. Where by the grace and glory of Naldal have our brave sons and daughters flourished and prospered. I speak of Ul'dah!
There, at the Flame General's back flies the Grand Company's standard.
Stop stalking us, Alphanor.
Note the sigil. The golden scales of order balance the jewel of prosperity with the flame of might.
Great and many are the gifts our nation has given the realm. In Eorzea's darkest hour, on the killing fields of Cartano, none spent more in blood and gold than we.
Every cutscene for me now with him is ruined because I'm just... His head's so tiny compared to the rest of him. He's got this massive chunk and neck. And then this tiny little head. It just distracts us every time he's in a cutscene. He's like me. I've got a long neck as well, but he's just like big chunky neck, and his head just looks teeny tiny.
Thus was the 7th Imperial Legion laid low.
So that's how it happened. How soon history forgets.
Yet many left our gates, never to return. Let us pray for our absent brothers and sisters, that they might know happiness in the great beyond, as Thal's honored guests. If the fates were fair, the price we paid that day would have bought us victory. Alas, they are not. And now, but 5 years into this 7th Umbral era, the spirit of sacrifice which granted us our strength is all but dead. Look around you. What do you see? A people divided, downtrodden and enthralled? Where are the merciful alms of the rich? Where is the just steel of the righteous? I ask you, is this the great nation our brothers and sisters gave their lives to save? You who call this living, dishonor the name of the immortal flames. It is but a slow death. Our enemies surround us. The savage hordes of the Amalja wait beside our roads, strangling the lifelines of trade. Meanwhile, the Garleans make mock of our borders and despoil our land of its natural wealth. We stand on a precipice, yet we do not act. Whether trader or soldier, monetarist or royalist, all must recognize that a divided Uldar stands to fall. Victory and fortune walk hand in hand. Ye who seek glory and wealth, look not to what little you can snatch from your neighbor, but to the boundless wealth of the world beyond.
I'm very curious, because obviously we know this story's coming to an end. Yoshi P made it sound like, on the stage last night, he made it sound like the plans for the next story is already underway. Like they've already got an idea of where it's going. And it's making me wonder, is 16 going to play a part in that as well? Obviously 16 is going to be its own standalone single-player story-driven game. But it's set in the exact same style as this. Because obviously Yoshi P likes this sort of styling of game. And because this story's coming to an end, I wonder if they'll tie together in some way. But not in a way that you must play 16, you know what I mean? Sort of like it's a... like how anime movies, you don't necessarily have to watch them to enjoy the TV series. That sort of deal.
Now is the time to unite. Now is the time to ride forth.
Sally fall.
In the name of the Sultana, I beseech you. Line not your own
no one gets that reference.
but those of the immortal flames. Seek not to prosper from Uldar, but to restore her to prosperity. As the realm prospers, so shall Uldar. As Uldar prospers, so shall her people.
Ja, for Uldar!
Together we are one.
Your grace.
Raubon? People of Uldar, I, Nanimo, 17th in the line of Ul, address you.
Would you not be offended if you were in her position there? I mean, in this day and age, 2021, someone probably be offended. Being of small height and having to have someone lift you up on their arm like that. Guarantee if this is the real world, someone would be like, "Ah, how dare you."
Much has been made of the wealth of Uldar. Yet those who measured that wealth in coins and carats are gravely deceived. For the true wealth of Uldar lies in the health, happiness, and hopes of her people. Beloved subjects, I bid you raise aloft the torch of Uldar, that her flames might serve as a beacon for all Eorzea to see.
Long live Nanamo!
Glory to the Sultana!
victory
God
and
makes
fortune.
you rain.
Stride fearless into the inferno, for we are by fire reborn!
So the patch content isn't finished. I thought it was finished as well.
Fancy meeting you again.
Yeah, I thought the patch content was finished and we're just ready for the next big expansion. But no, the next patch. Oh yeah, also the next patch is being split into 2 parts. I think they said we'll get 1 part in April and 1 part in May. And obviously because of COVID, the expansion itself has been delayed until, like, fall. The Uldans have a long history of conflict with the Amaljar, beast tribe that worship the primal Ifrit. Judging by your look of distaste, I take it you have encountered them. The Uldans do not shy from confrontation. If aught threatens their precious prosperity, they will seek to crush it. So have they dealt with Ifrit thus far, smothering his flames each time he is stalked to life. Yet he is but one of several problems. Though they have been quiet these past 5 years, the Garleans have not gone away. Meanwhile, refugees continue to arrive in the droves, and Uldar has no clear policy on how to deal with them. Yeah, they do, they just kick them out on the streets and that's it. Forget about them. After all, not even the Sultanate's coffers are bottomless. And even assuming they had the coin, resources will ever be finite. Which brings me back to the subject of Ifrit. It has been observed that the Amaljar are summoning him with ever-increasing frequency. Every time they do so, the Uldans send their forces to smite the primal. Though they invariably succeed, each victory is brought with blood. It is a war of attrition, which they cannot well sustain. Small wonder, then, that the Immortal Flames are eager to recruit more members. At such a desperate hour, an adventurer of your experience would be a most welcome addition to their ranks. For their sake, I hope the Flame General's words struck a chord with you. Nope, unfortunately I ended up joining Limsa. Arg! Do-do-biddly-doo. I hate this part. I hate Limsa's crystal. This is the busiest area in all of the starting cities. And it is loud. Brace your ears. Actually, it's not so bad this time. I did just the volume the last time. Wrong way. Here to attend the remembrance service. Be quick, the Admiral is due to give her address at any moment.
The Garleans are another matter altogether.
So much for our alliance.
It's sunk beyond the seabed.
Brothers and sisters of the sea, hearken unto me. Look upon this, our mighty crimson standard, and tell me your hearts do not swell with pride. "700 summers have come and gone since our forefathers first ran aground in this fertile bay. In that time, guided by the Mother of Oceans, Limsa Lominsa has grown from humble fishing village to uncontested ruler of the 5 seas and beyond.
Hey.
Did you look as the Admiral bid you? It is a rather stirring standard, I must say. The crimson field is meant to signify the blood of fallen crewmates, while the black longship represents a pirate vessel.
When the Garlean Empire marched upon Eorzea, we assembled beneath the Maelstrom standard, and our grand company was reborn. All answered the call, from the Knights of the Barracuda to Hilfir's bloody executioners, and together we met our would-be conquerors upon the field of Cartano. That day, the world bore witness to the united strength of Limsa Lominsa. I swear to you, no army ever fought harder or with more courage, yet many of ours did not survive. Join me now in remembering those who fought in the name of freedom and fell. May their souls be returned to the sea.
Freedom. Yes, they have always been rather fond of their freedom. Much as the beast tribes have. Small wonder. Beneath the surface, one would struggle to tell them apart.
It has been 5 long years since the calamity struck. 5 long years of tireless rebuilding. Yet still the wounds of the calamity fester and weep. But when I stand atop the mizzenmast and gaze out upon our battered and broken vessel, I see an undying spirit. Did we not build all this from the wreck of the Galadian all those centuries ago? Shall we not do so again? Yet there are those who would see this ship of ours sink beneath the waves of the restless Rotano.
What's the name of the samurai guy, the bad guy in Stormblood? Xenos. What was his name again? Yeah, Xenos. Yeah, Yoshi P said that, like, during the live stream, he said that Xenos considers you to be a friend. Even though he wants to scrap with you every 5 seconds.
The Sahagin creep ashore seeking blood for their accursed god.
So I wonder if in the end he's gonna help with in some way.
Those fishback
The Sahagin
bastards.
have risen?
While the mines of Ogomoro spew forth kobolds who push ever south, despoiling our lands as they go.
Because obviously we're going to visit the city-state in the next expansion. So we're going to clash with him again, and probably after we've clashed with him, we might come to some sort of mutual understanding, and he'll probably help us towards getting to the moon. Maybe along with Sid and everyone else.
These savage beast tribes will be the first waves to crash against our creaking hull.
But I've not touched the patch content, so I don't know how things have transpired so far. But because Yoshi P said he considers you a frenemy, you never know.
And behind them swells the grim tide of the Garlean Empire. Even now the Curs fly their flags within our borders. Doubt not, but that they will be upon us ere long. We are well nigh surrounded. Yet there are those among us who would rather turn their swords against their crewmates than our cannons against our foes. How can we hope to repel our many enemies when mutiny breeds below deck? There is but one course left to us. One bearing that will bring us victory over the beast hordes and the Empire both, and see this ship safe to port. We must mend the rift the Calamity has reopened twixt pirate and maelstrom, and stand fast with our adventurer brothers against the coming tempest. Mark ye well, a crew without unity is no crew at all. 'Tis but a mass of drowned men.
Hey look, it's Minfilia. It's not really, but...
To me,
Snuck
then,
in amongst the
brothers and
crowd.
sisters of the sea, gather beneath the undying crimson standard, and pledge me your strength, your skill, your wisdom. And with the guidance of the navigator, this great vessel of ours shall ride the waves, till sea swallows all.
Disguised as a cook. Or just some crazy lady with a frying pan. Not that you can see because I'm covering it.
Long live the Admiral!
Admiral Melvin!
Gather the lads!
Oh, where's me cutlass?
I'll follow ye to the seven hells, Admiral!
Fancy meeting you again.
Just anything that's major to the story, really. Like, I never finished Crystal Tower. I never faced Bahamut. But I'd like to. As the Admiral mentioned in her address, Limsamalominsa is plagued by two beast tribes. The first are the fish-like Sarhagen, worshippers of the primal Leviathan. The second are the kobolds, who dwell beneath the earth and take the primal Titan for their god. As if the beast tribe's presence weren't troublesome enough, Garleans have also chosen to erect a fortress right in the Leminsian's backyard. Icky English. Red leather, yellow leather. Blah, blah, blah. And that is to say naught of the internal strife. As a nation of pirates, there is no end to the blood feuds between the various factions. While they fight amongst themselves, the Garleans whet their blades and watch. If the Lemensians are to have any hope of withstanding the Empire, They must first resolve their own affairs. Differences must be set aside, and the primal threat dealt with once and for all. To this end, I expect that they will soon take decisive action against the beast tribes. Mark my words, Maelstrom Standard will be drenched a deeper shade of crimson ere long. That a capable adventurer like you would be a valuable addition to their crew is beyond question. And then they walk away. Stalkers! Jasix, this is Minfilia. You are well, I hope. Would I be correct in thinking that the final remembrance service has now concluded? A moment ago, you see. What a coincidence. Jesting aside, I trust you remember our guests from the Grand Companies. Well, delighted though we are to have them here at the Waking Sands, it would not do to keep them in suspense any longer than necessary. In short, hurry back. Yes, just going to slowly work my way through it all. I've got time before the next expansion, so this will pretty much be my game for quite a while going forward now. There's not really anything major coming out that I'm in a rush to play. Obviously on the weekends I'll still be doing my multiplayer stuff with Koos, so I'll be playing this 4 days a week and multiplayer stuff with Koos Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But should be plenty time. Hopefully. I'm just about to get food in a minute, Koos. Welcome back, Jasix. Were the Grand Company leader's words as illuminating as you had hoped? Aye, each nation is beset with problems. I trust you see now why your services are in such demand. Would that there were more of you, Jasix. But you must be tired from your journey. Why don't you rest a while and take a moment to reflect on your decision? Once your mind is made up, pray, give the Grand Company officers your answer. Get the feeling this will be the end of part 2.
The gods only know what Grand Company our adventurer friend will keep. The wheels of change are in motion regardless.
Brother, are you certain this course is best?
Hey, Lulu. Lullaby, Lou. Do it. Do the deed. Do the deed. Goose Bay final day.
Whatever do you mean, dear sister?
Hey, Koos, did you know the next expansion of Final has a entirely new gameplay in it, where you get an island that you can build and grow crops and raise minions? Like Harvest Moon and Stardew Valley?
The so-called remembrance ceremonies were little more than standard waving rallies. As though the Calamity and Seventh Umbral Era warranted scarcely a mention.
Hello, where are you? Do the deed.
Well, of course they were standard waving rallies. Since you are so observant, mayhap you noticed what mention was made of the Warriors of Light? None. I suppose they must have forgotten the heroes who spared Eorzea a fate worse than the Calamity?
You're getting told off for spamming? Oh, Twitch's auto. Yeah, that's not a bot thing. That's just Twitch's normal thing.
No, dear Alize, they haven't forgotten these details. They have elected to omit them. Deep are the wounds the Calamity inflicted upon Eorzea. So deep, in fact, that the realm still bleeds.
Keep telling them you can play the first part, the bit that I'm playing right now, and the first expansion, and level every character to 60, and it doesn't cost them a penny. Doesn't cost them a penny at all. So there's no reason to complain. It's free, but he's just been a whingy little bitch.
Needless to say, the beast tribes and their primals do little to alleviate the pain. So, the task of salving Eorzea's wounds falls to the scions of the Seventh Dawn, with a little help from our friends, the Grand Companies. Remembrance will yield no remedy. If our world is to heal, we must put the horrors of the Calamity behind us.
But Koos, the next expansion, it's on the moon! It's on the moon! Even Newton wants to play it.
Our grandfather would never entrust the fate of the realm to despots who rewrite history to their convenience. There must be another way to cure what ails this world, and I need to find it.
And this is the point where we don't see Alize for a long, 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 long time. I think.
You are most welcome to try. Our paths may differ, but our destination is the same. In time, I dare say we will see eye to eye.
Now, even if it's just like 1 day a week, it's better than out. He can't even play a day. That's because in Guild Wars, all you did was the jump quest. You didn't even bother to play the game. Literally was sat up on launch night waiting for that game. We got into it, and Koos just wanted to do jump quests. And then he quit. Another game that we wasted money on.
I should hope so.
Bye, voice actor of Alize.
My lady!
We are to escort you.
Hope does not come into it. We share the burden of this fate, dear sister, and will prevail together or not at all.
Not quite done with this voice actor yet, though.
The salve will serve not only to close up our present wounds, but prevent old ones from opening anew.
The company you keep. How was the Admiral's speech? Ah, but you need not explain. That you stand before me now is answer enough. You resolved to join the Maelstrom, have you not? Yes. That's the spirit, lad. With allies like you, how much stronger is our crew. Let us brave the seas together, friend. Now the choice is made. It is time to add your name to our rolls. Make your way to Lims Elemensa and seek out our Grand Company's headquarters. Maelstrom Command is located in the upper decks. I will send word to our personal officer who will expect you. The duty of Maelstrom soldiers can be both arduous and challenging, but I promise you, you will not regret this choice. May your passage be swift and your bearing sure. How long's part 2? Seems to just keep going. Doobie doobie doobie. I was very surprised. Obviously, this is getting an announcement of the PS5 version, and the beta or alpha testing of that begins in April. But no Xbox announcement still. It seems Xbox is never going to get it unless maybe when this new saga starts, they'll start fresh on the Xbox with that. God knows. But as apparently Phil Spencer or someone denied them putting it on the Xbox. But then after they realised how popular it was, they changed their minds. But I think Yoshi P by that time was just like, jog on. Someone anyway. It's just never getting an Xbox release since. Hail, adventurer. What business have you with the Maelstrom Command? My name is Jasix Thuldred. I believe you're expecting me? Game tweeted out today that there is new stock coming soon. You'll have to go on Twitter and check because I didn't check the date. But yeah, basically just follow a load of stock alerts on Twitter. Just go on Twitter and search PS5 stock alerts and just follow a bunch of them and you'll get alerts. That's how I managed to get my PS5 and Xbox. Jasix Thuldred, hi. The recruitment officer sent word of your coming. It shall be my honour to introduce you into the ranks of the Maelstrom. Now, before I can accept your oath, you must be made aware of several... Sir! What is it, Private? This had better be important. Sir, we've received reports from a lookout in the Lower Lanacea, sir. Imperial forces have fired upon a Highwind Skyways airship. The vessel is in a bad way, sir, and appears to be banking for an emergency landing in Cedarwood. Cedarwood? Was it Cedarwood? I can't remember. Damn it. We have no troops available in that area. Bulk of our infantry is bogged down on the coast, skirmishing with the fishbacks. Huldred, it's highly irregular, but I fear your first duty in service to the Maelstrom must needs be unofficial. If our man in Lannister is correct, the airship will come down in territory crawling with Imperial scouts. If there are any survivors, we must reach them before the Garleans do. Make haste to Cedarwood. Locate the airship, and if any of its occupants are alive, make sure they come to no further harm. We'll see about swearing you in upon your return. Aye, Captain. Scooby-Doo. Shit. Dippy-doo. Keep pestering him. Even when he's going his stream. Just keep pestering him. Everybody, even you, Newton. Just keep pestering him. He'll crack eventually. I'm passing on Mario for now. Thankfully, the next Mario is not a limited time sale, so there's no rush. That's why I decided to start this, so I can play through the story. Dooby-doo. Aha, I don't have to go around. Fuck you, terrain. I think the place I'm going to is where that wine cellar is, if I remember. You have to get some wine from me at some point for that guy, Costa del Sol. Or maybe not. I'm thinking of a different place. You seem to have that present? No? Look! It's Biggs! A wedge! An adventurer? What are you doing out here? No, wait. Find some cover first. And I'm further put off by the fact that Wrath of Bowser is only 3 to 6 hours long. Here's the command sent you. How do I know you're not an Imperial spy? You don't even have a uniform. Be at ease, sir. We are of the Maelstrom. You're a Garland Ironworks engineer, yes? One of our lookouts reported the attack on your craft. We're here to rescue you. You must be Thuldred. Good work on reaching our friend here before the Imperials. Just casually chatting behind a tree while they're all still there. Never seen a craft of this design. Must be Garland's work. There no end to the man's treachery. Secrets of Magitech belong in Imperial hands. They are not to be squandered on Eorzean savages. We are taking this craft back to the fortress. Dismantle it if you must. And bring the engineer. Someone must pay for Garland's crimes. Scouting party from the Castrum Occupants, I'd say. Seems they want your ship, engineer. Wedge, you have to help him. Fool of a Lalafell was hiding inside the tiny Bronco. The tiny Bronco? Isn't that the new design people have been whispering about? It's the first airship we've built since the Calamity. The first since Master Garland. Well, since he went missing. After years of work, she was finally ready for her first test flight. She was soaring, she really was. So those bastards blasted her out of the sky. Alright, pay attention. We're going to hit these Imperials hard and fast. They want a souvenir from Eorzea. They can have a knife in the gut. They are not getting on that ship. Oh, and don't forget to save the Lalafell. What say you, Thuldred? Ready to give those curs a hiding? Like a tidal wave, lads. Charge! Abachi! Thanks for the help. An ambush! To arms! Their ass! Gone on long enough. Good boy. That's right. Focus on me. Duty complete. Biggs! Wedge, shouldn't have stayed with the ship. That was a close one. Too damn close. How's she look, anyway? The auxiliary propeller is a dead loss. I don't think we can wring enough thrust from the main propeller to get us airborne. Few main modifications and we should be able to fly the tiny Bronco home. He'll stand watch until the ship's ready to take off. Heroes will come looking for their scouts eventually, but I doubt they'll get here for a good while yet. Soldier, you're free to return to the Maelstrom Command and complete your induction. Ordinarily I'd ask you to stay, but I think we'd all feel better knowing an adventurer of your ability was safely sworn in and ready for the next mission. Rest assured, I'll inform command of your part you played today. Just wanted to say sorry, you know, for calling you an Imperial spy and all that. Got that one wrong, didn't I? Seriously though, if it hadn't been for you and the Maelstrom lads there, he'd be chained up in a dungeon by now. I'm in your debt, friend. We both are. Wedge. Thank you. We're very grateful. Get out of my sight. Right. Let us crack on, lad. Welcome back, Thuldred. Just heard the report. You needn't be concerned about the engineers. They completed their return trip without further Imperial interference. Must admit, I had my doubts at first, but it seems the stories about you are true. I look forward to seeing what else you're capable of, after you're properly inducted into Maelstrom, of course. Now, speaking of your induction... Till sea swallows all. Let us start afresh, shall we? You are welcome here, Jasix Thuldred. That such a well-respected adventurer would choose to join our ranks is most heartening. Before you swear your allegiance to us, however, it is only right that I tell you exactly what it is that you will be joining. A grand company is more than simply a collection of soldiers. It is an all-encompassing organization which draws upon the resources of an entire city-state to form a united military force capable of standing against a nation's deadliest enemies. We of the Maelstrom are charged with meeting the threats posed by the Primals and of the Garlean Empire and solving many problems caused by the Calamity. Every man and woman who serves under our colours has a role to play in keeping a great warship that is Lims Alaminza afloat. And on whatever heading Chief Admiral Melvip, I should say, sees fit to set. As part of this grand vessel's crew, you will be expected to take your turn at the oars. The winds do not look favourable, lad, and strength of arm may be all that sees us safe to port. If I've lost you with talk of ship and all, let me put it another way. The Maelstrom soldier labours till his last breath, fights till his last drop of blood. We give our all in service to this nation, and no less is expected of you. Aldred, it is customary for new recruits to swear an oath of their own choosing upon entering the Maelstrom ranks. Is there aught you'd like to say? What skills I have are yours, till sea swallows all. Ah, yes, the many and varied skills of the adventurer. I have no doubt that your travels have furnished you with such knowledge as will prove invaluable to our cause. Jasix Thulred, I hereby assign you the rank of Storm Private 3rd Class. I've been demoted! I quit. You are now officially a soldier of the Maelstrom. Welcome aboard, Private. May you serve Linza Laminza with well till sea swallows all. I was higher rank than you! I've been demoted. Stop clapping! I'm your commander! Can you hear me, Jasix? This is Minfilia. An officer of the Maelstrom contacted me with news of your enlistment. My congratulations, Private Thulred. I have no doubt that you are eager to make the acquaintance of your new comrades, but I would ask that you pay a visit to your old ones first. Remember, though you are now a man of the storm, you are no less a scion. Pray, return to the Waking Sands at your earliest convenience. There are some friends here whom I'd very much like you to meet. We shall be waiting. No rest for the wicked, eh? Before you make yourself scarce, I recommend having a word with Commander Ricky? May be worth your while. We now accept quest My Little Chocobo Maelstrom by speaking with quest may come over there. I'm guessing I don't have to do that, do I? I've been demoted. Damn right. I'm captain. But yeah, can you attain these ranks yet? Like, these have been here since the beginning, and you couldn't do anything with them. Yeah. They still haven't expanded on them. Blast off to space! Welcome back, Jasix. Lady Minfilia awaits you within. Welcome back. Seems you wasted no time putting your skills to work. How do I know? Why, the recruitment officer called to regale me with the tale of your heroics. The pride in his voice was palpable. We Scions are truly fortunate to have you with us, Jasix. Now, when last we spoke, I said that I wanted you to meet some friends, did I not? Well, I neglected to mention that you have already met them. Taru, please show them in. This way, sirs. Wedge and Biggies. Thanks again for getting us out of that mess. We owe you our lives. But I don't think we've properly introduced ourselves. I'm Biggs. And I'm... Gods, man, spit it out, will you? Wedge, at your service! I am pleased to say that Biggs and Wedge will be staying with us for a while. Agitex-driven contraptions such as an airship grow ever more vital to the city-states of Eorzea. As a neutral party, it was judged that we Scions should serve as the keepers of this technology. Of course, for this we needed the knowledge of experts, and so we requested the assistance of Garland Ironworks, who very kindly sent us 2 of their finest engineers. Our happy family continues to grow. On behalf of the Scions, I bid you welcome to the Waking Sands. Like every soul here, I love Eorzea, and I count myself blessed to have been given this chance to stand with you all and fight for the future of the realm. Never have I known such fulfillment, such happiness. Oh wow, it's still going self-management. Me. Well, as much as I want to keep that going, I'm going to get some food. And then I'll be back in about half an hour, and me and Koos will be doing XIV. So we'll be continuing with the story of that. So if you want to see Koos die 1,000,000 times and me bang my head against the wall, feel free to come by and watch. It's fun. But yeah, I'm going to grab my food. That's enough for Final for now. Continue some more of this more likely on Monday. We'll have a proper long play of it on Monday. Because obviously I'll be doing Gears for the rest of the night and probably tomorrow as well. So Monday, we'll crack on with the next part of this. Part 2 seems to be going for quite a while of Realm Reborn. I was expecting it to end there once the company stuff had been taken care of, but nope. Next we got to deal with the sylphs. But yes, anyway, if you're new to the channel, as always, feel free to that follow button. It's always appreciated. If you scroll down, you find a link to my Twitter page and my YouTube channel. If you've ever missed a stream, all VODs, at least within the last few months, are on YouTube. I had to delete everything before that because Twitch was stupid. But yes, VODs of other games are over there on YouTube. Feel free to subscribe over there if you want to check that out. This VOD will most likely be up tomorrow to watch. So if you missed it, check it out then. But yes, thanks for watching. Have a good rest of the day, evening, night, and I'll see you again in about an hour at most. And as long as you're following here and on Twitch, you'll know when I'm live. Yes, have a good one, guys. Thanks for watching. See you in a few. Peace.